Hi, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be discussing arguments made by this guy. His name is Alvin, and I'll be addressing this video to him. Hi Alvin. I recently came across your argument in regards to the evolutionary argument against naturalism. I wasn't sure if I'd heard this argument before, so I wanted to investigate. After watching some videos where you detail your arguments, including this one, I recognized that I have heard similar arguments in regards to the reliability of our cognitive faculties. Firstly, I did want to take note of the definition of naturalism in your argument. You claim that it is the idea that there isn't any such person as God or anything like God. You say that naturalism is a strong form of atheism, where it essentially becomes a positive claim that God does not exist. This seems to be a pretty small subset of non-believers, and probably not the definition of naturalism that would most often be used. I think the more common definition would be a more pragmatic approach, where it appears that all that we can observe comes from quantum mechanics, which then leads to physics, which leads to chemistry, which then causes biology, and then finally the evolutionary process leads to the complexity of neurology. Now, since there is no evidence to suggest otherwise, it simply means that a god is not part of that picture, but it wouldn't exclude that possibility. Now, this may just be semantics, but if indeed your argument is specific against a small subset of non-believers, it would be good if people using your argument acknowledged this and stopped generalizing to all forms of naturalism. So let's have a look at your argument. Here's a brief description of your argument so people watching can get the basics. I've just got a video here.
According to evolutionary theory, random genetic variation and natural selection are responsible for the current features of our species, including what goes on in our brains, which in turn causes our everyday behavior. And if human beings are just material things, what happens in our brains and physical surroundings also causes us to have the beliefs we have. These evolutionary processes enhance the fitness of certain creatures, leading to the reproduction and survival over others. But the truth of our beliefs in this process plays much less of a role than we might think. First, note that even if beliefs generated behavior, they need not be true to lead to survival and reproduction. You're truly believing poking a bear will get you mauled, or you're falsely believing poking a bear will get you abducted by aliens, both lead to the same kinds of action and will help you live to see another day. But second, argues Plantinga, on this combined picture, our beliefs aren't even partially involved in generating our behavior. And so there doesn't seem to be much of a reason to think they are any more likely to be true than false. And since naturalism doesn't allow any room for a God who has designed our faculties, it then wouldn't be very likely that the ways in which we form beliefs are reliable. And if we come to believe that all the ways we form beliefs, by using memory, reason, perception, or any of our other cognitive faculties are not reliable, then we have a reason which undercuts every belief that we form by way of these cognitive faculties. And that includes absolutely all of our beliefs.
So that is the basic argument, that our cognitive faculties such as perception, reason, and memory form a model of our universe, and our beliefs are a subset within that model. All of our beliefs together create that model. However, some of those beliefs do not need to be true in order to exhibit behaviors that would lead to our survival. So essentially you were saying that due to this evolutionary process that causes at least some of our beliefs to be untrue, Therefore, we should not consider our cognitive faculties to be reliable. You go on to explain that beliefs and our neurology are separate things, that neurology causes the behavior to occur, and both of those are adaptive for survival. But it does not matter whether the beliefs themselves are true, since they stem from the neurology also. And you conclude that if you took any particular belief, the likelihood that it would be true or false is close to 50-50, so the reliability is therefore low. Now, I would disagree with the assumption that beliefs and our neurology are separate, although with our sort of human perception we can view them as different things. It seems more likely that they are part of the same package. Similar to the way that computer hardware and software are different things, but one without the other is not really a computer. You need to have both to have functionality. And the software model of the universe that we see is simply a reflection or interpretation of the neurology that is easily understandable. But to get to the core of your argument, I think the most glaring thing to notice is that in an evolutionary argument against naturalism, you don't seem to take into consideration evolution itself. Although the evolutionary process has indeed led to false beliefs throughout human history that have improved survivability, I would posit religious beliefs to be one of them. There are a large number of false beliefs that, if someone believed them, would not be a very long-lasting belief. For instance, from the video we just saw, if you believed that poking a bear would lead to the bear giving you a hug and nothing bad could come of it, that is not a belief that would last for very long. The evolutionary process weeds out false beliefs over time, and so the probability of there still being false beliefs within someone's model is also reduced. When the capacity of brains or brain power increases due to evolution, it allows more sophisticated models to be made that are also less likely to be untrue. Not only this, but with enough neurological capacity, humans have been able to develop methods that allow these beliefs to be tested. Let's also look at our cognitive faculties. The limitations of our perception are improved by technology such as eyeglasses, as I can see you're wearing here, and hearing aids. And we also develop technology that also expands our human perception with tools such as microscopes and telescopes, etc. This gives us information about the universe, more information about the universe, which helps us to improve our models. In terms of our reasoning limitations, or our ability to reason, these are also improved by scientific methods that try to eliminate bias, as well as education in critical thinking in our recent history that have substantially progressed the ability for humans to reach better models. If people from a couple thousand years ago had the education and understanding we have today, it seems unlikely we would see the large array of religions that exist now. And lastly, to memory. Although there are small improvements with things from like memory training, most of the advancements in human history are in the form of writing and data storage more recently. So altogether, these advancements can be seen as being a result of the evolutionary process, meaning that humans have been getting better and better at coming to more accurate conclusions. This shows that evolution has the ability to overcome low probability of things existing. For instance, when people say that the human eye is so complex, how could it happen? Now, we know that the eye became more complex over time, which literally improves our vision and our ability to see the world as it is, so it improves our perception of the world. The same is true of all the other cognitive faculties. So when you say that there is a low probability of our beliefs being true, or a low probability of the reliability of our cognitive faculties, you are missing the key point of evolution, that it is able to overcome low probabilities over time, because the adaptiveness for better survivability will include the adaptiveness for better understanding of our environmental surroundings. So I hope this clears up the evolutionary argument against naturalism. If you have more questions, then I'm sure you can find a way to ask them. Thank you for your time.